So after you guys finish sorting out the papers, you are called to the central chamber again, where you know the shareholders are awaiting you, and they have something that they need to tell to that are wandering the halls, completing various tasks, Ellie included. You get to see the central face of the shareholders, this kind of blue face, looks like shifting like ink on an amorphous background, a bunch of video screens that are playing that have different faces on them. Some of them have like stock tickers, things like that. The face shifts once it calls you and beckons, and as corporate drones, you kind of have to. You feel compelled when it calls you to show up, even if you don't want to be there. You have to be there.
The meeting is mandatory.
Once you arrive at the central chamber, voice begins to speak.
It is time to reinvent proactive paradigms. We must streamline world-class architectures, repurpose transparent users, and morph open-source mindshare. Your tasks so far have been completed with an acceptable degree of success, but it is not enough. We have determined that we must utilize open-source supply chains and synergize mission-critical paradigms. Elly, you are required to integrate scalable portals and to unleash virtual metrics upon the green spaces that exist throughout the chambers. Your task will be to maximize sticky niches and to cultivate web-enabled paradigms, as well as implement proactive experiences. We require spinach. You must harvest spinach so that you can strategize transparent initiatives and morph bleeding edge eyeballs, as well as strategize bleeding edge models. You will accept this task, or I will repurpose 365 solutions and liquidate you. Now!
Gustavo kind of like walks in. Gustavo, for those who forget, is a man with a very large man covered in a black bodysuit with he just has a big stick that he pokes people with. The face directs its attention to Gustavo.
Quickly evolve ubiquitous channels.
And it drops a spotlight on Elly, and Gustavo just starts poking Elly and kind of like herding Elly away from your group.
Now is the time for Q&A. Do any of you have any questions about your corporate tasks?
You have fun with the spinach, dear.
Yeah, Elly is obviously just being herded away. To what end? Who can say? Gustavo disappears with Elly. The face continues.
If any of you have any questions about your corporate tasks, now is the time to ask them so that we can clarify and hopefully leverage strategic interfaces.
Where is the location of the dry cleaning?
You will find the dry cleaning in the northern wing, through the hall of the forgotten, past the lakes of the damned. You must traverse the dragon's den, as it's known. The flames of the underworld burn brightly there. Furthermore, the wails of the damned can be heard echoing off of the walls. You must also aggregate impactful systems and strategize B2B infrastructures if you wish to survive.
Wish the whaling to stop, because that seems a job category.
Once you benchmark vertical functionalities, I think that you will find that it is simple to unleash a frictionless market, you in particular.
The face leans a little bit closer towards Nermal, and
Yes.
We have been watching. We have been looking at you. You are considered to be under supervision. And if you should not succeed, we will provide you with a world-class experience and what it means to seize extensible e-services.
But what?
We will redefine one-to-one functionalities. You will grow innovative architectures, or we will productivize integrated markets within your very anatomy.
Oh no. Okay.
The face kind of retreats back a little, pulling back.
Now, to best accomplish this task and ensure that you can engage wireless paradigms, we have provided you with yet one more workmate. Please welcome them and invite them out to social functions after the day is done. This may include at least one alcoholic beverage and the ordering of one appetizer. You can be comped for one of those things, either the appetizer or the alcoholic beverage, but not both. We simply do not have the funds. Are you agreeable with this?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Good. Now, please welcome your new corporate all-star. Y'all ready for this?
And then a tube kind of like drops down from the room, from the ceiling, and just kind of just unleashes your latest teammate, Rosalie, onto the floor, naked as the rest of you are, covered in goo. Rosalie, you were just in a virtual environment, probably doing something related to your job. You have just been, quote unquote, birthed out onto the floor. It's cold, it's metal, and it's dark. And you don't know any of these people. Well, maybe you do. But the face on the wall, you surely know as the shareholders. It's kind of horrific as your first taste of real life up until this point. You were inside of a vat, being fed all sorts of corporate lingo and programming. Now you exist in the real world. And look at you. Naked, wet, probably slimy and scared.
She's gonna toss her hair up and it's just gonna like slap against her with like this just gross sound.
Yeah, like a slimy Beyonce.
Yeah. She's gonna like put her hands up to cover herself. She's like sitting up as prettily as she can, and she's looking around. Obviously, the shareholders, she kind of like, goes like, oh. And then she sees Gail and winks at her.
Gail is politely golf clapping upon your introduction. Like, just very coolly, yeah.
She gives like a little nod to Normal. Hello, darlings.
Hey, hi.
Where is there clothes around here?
Oh, we have to earn those.
Oh. She like gets up, trying to do it as prettily as she can, but this is kind of disgusting and icky.
There is one last thing I would like to share with all of you before you depart upon your tasks. You must pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stomping, and the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. See, because that's where the party's at, and you'd find out if you do that.
Do you have perhaps some cross interference, sirs?
Yo! Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stomping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more. Get the party going on the dance floor. See, because that's where the party's at, and you'd find it if you do that. I don't want a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day. I don't want a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day.
The face begins to distort and then just hang with the mouth open.
Yes, that sounds like fun, actually.
It seems like we're missing a corporate party in there.
We can have our own appetizer and a beverage, I believe it was. Compensated? No, wait, it was one or the other.
Oh, you listen well for someone just born.
Listening well is what I need to do, As you know, Gail.
Oh, well, I have missed working with you, sweetheart.
She gives her a little, blows her a little air kiss.
Gail, goes to adjust the tie she's not currently wearing, but just, smirks.
Okay, but, I could use some clothes, so... Could you point me in the direction for that?
We must complete our 3 tasks. I suppose one is done, so coffee and dry cleaning it is. I suppose maybe dry cleaning may have some sort of item. Yes, we're all naked.
Well,
Naked and gross.
Yeah, we're like slimy, but we like dry it a little.
Covered in paper cuts, probably.
Yeah,
Aw.
too.
she's gonna like flick her arm to get some of the slop off and just walk up to you guys.
A doorway opens sort of at the back of the chamber that would lead towards the northern wing. And there's also a little off branch, if you were to enter it, that leads like slightly west. If you continue north towards just direct north, you would get to the dry cleaning. You take the western little branch, then you would be heading towards the coffee room, the break room.
I'm hoping that perhaps the dry cleaner might have food, but the dry cleaner might have clothes, but we also may end up in the whales of the damned or whatever that was.
We needed to make coffee, right?
Do you really wish
It's
to
not
do
gonna
so?
be that easy.
There's a man with explosive business cards around. Marvin, don't interact. We've been ordered not to interact.
Explosive. That sounds dangerous. But he did say that to get to the dry cleaning there would, what was it, traverse a dragon's den, and there were whales of the damned, and what else was it? Aggravate impactful systems.
As you guys are kind of discussing what you're doing, a very handsome man is walking through the hall near you. You only see kind of like him from in profile on the left side, I would say. He's casually strolling.
Ooh, who's he?
He seems to be looking down at his watch. He has a stack of papers under his arm.
She elbows Gale and Normal. Do you know who that is?
So you actually, don't recognize this guy. He may not be from the virtual environment. Hard to say. He's extremely handsome, though. Kind of looks like an Asian man in his early 20s with a very nice haircut and a very nice suit.
Rosalie's gonna go, she's gonna saunter up, like, twisting, like, a lock of her hair. Excuse me?
He stops, still in profile. Yes, what can I do for you?
Sir, gentlemen, I don't believe we've met.
He slowly begins to turn his head, and you realize that the right side of his head is completely sheared off of flesh. It's only skull. No.
Her eyes are gonna widen. Oh, she's gonna cover her mouth daintily.
I just came back from the coffee room, and I have to say that I feel great.
Well, that is what I like to hear. You may want to report to medical, though.
Ah, oh, are you referring to this? He points to his, like, half skull face.
Yes, as a doctor, that isn't quite, May I ask how that happened?
Ah, I'm getting treatments. And I can see why you'd be concerned. They haven't been finalized, but I have a home kit. He takes out a small, what looks like a metal scoop or knife, like almost like a grapefruit spoon. I have the home kit right here and can finish the treatments at my own leisure. In installments, you know. I'm going to. I was on my way to doing it during my break. Well, half my break. The other half was spent getting coffee. And now I'm going to complete it. He taps the spoon against the side of his face that still is flesh. There's way too many calories here. Way too many age lines and wrinkles. And Botox just isn't enough. So I'm going to tap it so that I am symmetrical. And then he taps the spoon against the side of his face that's skeletal.
He seems like he's got his priorities right.
You should all go to the coffee room so that you can get treatment as well. Ask for Donna. She's amazing.
Well, darlings, I think we have our next. Well, was coffee all right with you all?
As you're talking, he just ignites. He spontaneously combusts, more or less. He just sets on fire as he's standing there.
Yeah, she's just gonna get really excited and open her mouth and have her hands up, sort of like claws, and just kind of like just inhale that.
Well, what does your stand look like? Get a salamander humanoid kind of whatever you want.
Reptilian woman.
So you absorb the fire from this man that spontaneously combusted. Then you have, you can turn that into a concentrated point of heat at some point, according to your stand. The man on fire, once the fire is gone, he's just a smoking skeletal figure that's just standing there, still wearing a suit or what remains of it, and he's clearly dead. He just ignited, and but he's still standing up.
Is the suit still in one piece?
Oh no, it's just char. If you were to try to touch it,
Okay.
it would fall. It would just flake up to pieces. He is still looking at his watch that is, scorched, but exists on his wrist.
Oh, darling, you just got sold some bum product. Look at what it did to you.
Oh man, I guess I should clean this up. They'd probably want me to clean this up, right?
Oh yes, get the stain out of the carpet.
Okay. He gestures you to like step back from the guy.
She does.
Yeah.
So what happens is, I'd say like the hall they're standing in, like a 10-foot section of the floor, like tips downwards like a seesaw, and the dude's corpse slides down it, and at the bottom of the seesaw is just a big whale mouth waiting to eat it.
Well, good job. You've gotten rid of the dirt, the wastes. The garbage is gone.
Yeah.
Yay.
I don't know about you, but now I simply do not feel about like having coffee, especially when you're...
Yeah, I don't want to get my face scooped off, so maybe we should do the other thing. Oh, the other thing's probably going to be something horrible, like spiders or something. I don't know.
Ah, right. The Lakes of the Damned and the Dragon's Den, was it?
Well, do keep in mind, I think he may be the shareholders. Well, I didn't say this too badly, but they seem to err. Perhaps there's...
roll dirt. Do you have durability? You know what? Just roll
I don't
morale
yet.
for now. It's fine. Okay, you take 1 mental stress.
Oh, okay.
Anytime you guys doubt the shareholders, you have to roll a mentally defensive stat, or you will take stress. So as soon as the thought crosses your mind and you begin to say that, you feel that you yourself have low spirits for saying as such.
Oh, gross. But I'm sure it's just a technical error. I'm sure that they will repair themselves and report in better very soon.
You've always been so smart, Gail. Yes.
Oh well, you know how I love compliments.
Going to dry cleaning reveals sort of this weird, endless mechanical tunnel and corridor of suits on a strange conveyor hook system that seem to lead off into nowhere. On your way there, you saw that there was a water feature. It wasn't the Lake of the Damned. There was like a little tank with salamanders, little lizards in it. They just seem harmless. That would be the Dragon's Den. And there's just somebody along the way, like a sort of chubby older woman who was just eating a sandwich and crying a little softly to herself. That would be the Whales of the Damned. You know her. Her name is Cicely. She's nice, but she's also a little emotional. And yeah.
Is she crying right now?
Yeah, she's just softly sobbing as she eats a little sandwich.
Can I compel myself?
If you'd like.
I have all my fate points, but I am intolerant of low production and low spirits. That's my trouble. So she's going over there.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay, what you know of Cicely is kind of everyone knows Cicely within the VR system. She is nice and friendly. She doesn't have any close friends, but she has many people that know her, acquaintances, and she is often lonely.
Now, what's with the frown?
She stops eating her sandwich and just says, I don't know. I'm sorry. I was a little overwhelmed. That's all. It's just, oh, how are you? I know you. You're Gail, right? Gail, how are you? Don't mind me. She just starts wiping her eyes. I'm fine.
It's so nice for someone to recognize my name out here. Now, what's with the tears? She'll gently, brush her hand against this woman's chin.
The woman stammers and almost recoils at human touch. It's nothing. Like I said, it's just I came here with Timothy from accounting. And he was supposed to pick up his dry cleaning, and he was supposed to have been back by now, but I've just been informed via text message that he was liquidated. And he was it's fine. Yeah, it was Timothy, he was a friend, and he was sort of seeing Sybil, and so I didn't want to get in the middle of it, but I always enjoyed what he had to say about board games and, of course, the Office sitcom, working it out. So here's the thing about this VR environment. There's only one sitcom in the VR environment for you guys to enjoy. It's called Working It Out. Some of your fellow employees, your coworkers will choose to use a modified VR environment to do things and enjoy things that are not within corporate parameters. Working it out is considered to be the only corporate acceptable form of entertainment on television, on your VR television, that is. There are approximately 3,244 episodes of Working It Out. It is acted by what you can only presume to be, now that you're out in the real world, probably like just artificial intelligences that are just like creating randomized sitcom sketches that are made within certain parameters to be acceptable. But as I mentioned, there are people who have modified VR clients, VR setups, and one of the things they like to watch, those modified people, is a different sitcom, or at least they used to like to watch it, called Ain't It Funny. Working It Out, however, is the one that's acceptable. Well, anyway, it's fine. I'm sure whatever should happen, it wasn't meant to be. And someone has to tell poor Sybil, of course. And I was looking forward to spending time with Timothy, but he's liquidated now, so I guess I'll be spending time with him next time that I have soup.
Oh.
Rosalie's gonna hold her nose.
Oh, you know it's a tough working environment out here.
It is. Well, don't mind me. In fact, if you could, please don't tell anyone that you saw me crying, because if you were, I may find myself being souped next. I have things that I should be doing. But if Timothy's not returning from dry cleaning, then I should probably see about systems. I think I should probably go and reroute some of the wires. If you should be interested in lending a hand, or if the shareholders give you word of it, you can find me in the sub-basement performing that task. Until that time, I wasn't here and I wasn't crying. And I don't miss Timothy at all, not even a little. Oh, Timothy, your tie was so nicely selected. Oh.
Well, we do have some needs for dry cleaning, and I could assist you with that tears problem.
Oh, if you need help with dry cleaning, Timothy, it claimed his life, you know. He messed up something there, and they souped him for it. So be careful, girl, because I don't know that I want to lose another good friend to soup for dry cleaning. It seems a bit absurd, you know, doing one day. It's just too much to handle. She kind of like just sadly eats her sandwich.
Can I use my powers to make her smile, even though I probably shouldn't?
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll pat her on the shoulder and say, there, and my stand hand will also, like, come out and touch her shoulder, and, like, that shoulder will leak the gas.
As you put your stance hand on her and she's crying, you see slowly, like almost against her will, her teeth begin to grind together, her lips begin to curl upwards, and her cheeks pull back into a very strange rictus smile. She seems to be hyperventilating at that point. You can hear her teeth grinding together as she is forced to smile. She looks at you, Gail, almost, if she wasn't smiling, you would think that it's a look of one who is just betrayed. Her head shakes and vibrates a little, and then she looks away from you quickly once she is aware of her emotion, drops her sandwich to the ground, gets up, and then says, I should see to the wires.
Gail,
yeah.
Gail will whisper into her ear, there, now you won't be souped.
Of course.
It should wear off soon, at least when you get to the wires, right?
Yes.
Such a nice mask. Go on now.
She just kind of, like, very stiffly walks away. There are still like a few tears running down her eyes, but she's smiling as she does to go happily accomplish her task. She is very sad.
Rosalie's gonna pick up the sandwich and start eating it.
Yeah, it's just a tasty turkey sandwich with a white cheddar and a little lettuce and a kind of light mayonnaise spread. It's made with the crust cut off and is, I would say, pretty nutritionally balanced.
She's gonna break off a piece and hold it up to Gale and Normal. Would any of you like this?
Gail's face twists just a little bit, like she looks disgusted, and she has to like put her hand over her mouth, force herself to smile, and say, "No, I'm quite fine. I can't."
How symmetrical of a piece is it?
She just tore it off, so it's a little rough.
No, I'm good. I ate before I came out of the tube.
Someone else who either has been there or crept in while you guys were distracted raises his finger and says, "I'll talk that."
Who is this? Oh no, it's Marvin.
She's gonna walk with her hand out to